Hi, my name is Casey and I'll be giving my 20-minute presentation for CBT RP for the DACE program. This 20-minute presentation will cover the 4 key questions in the written assignment as well as some key talking points in the oral component. On question number 1 on how CBT can be applied to my workplace. In the past, what is happening is that the worker will spend about 8 weeks of his time reading procedures as well as undergoing skills training before being assessed and subsequently deployed to the line. This is not the case now. What is happening right now is that the worker will be assigned a certain workstation, spend about 1 or 2 weeks of training and get certified, and then after that be deployed to the line to start working and contributing to production. So the bite-sized training helps to speed things up, and it is also efficient and work focused because each and every worker is only trained on those things which he really needs for the job for the current moment, right? It also allows for individual development and evaluation, as one will use the time to reflect on his or her suitability for the role, and if he's really committed to be trained and certified in all of the tasks. It is also evidence-based and criteria-based as in the past, and this is to ensure that the individuals are able to perform in accordance to a set of performance criteria, and that during assessment able to produce the products in accordance to a set of specification. On question 2 on how I intend to develop myself as an adult educator, I will start off by talking about the 3 emerging WSQ issues which I see happening. The first issue is really about the relevance of WSQ to organizations. To what I know, a lot of companies today are still training their employees, their workers, according to the company procedures and not according to WSQ. For those who do, it could be due to other reasons such as the availability of funding and national recognition. The first emerging issue which I see called relevance of WSQ to organizations need a review in order for it to be beneficial and useful to companies, right? And aside from that, companies not just adopt training as a competitive strategy, they adopt other things like process optimization, automation, cost, or even a combination. So it may be timely for WDA to rethink about its role and position, right, in supporting these companies. The second emerging issue, which I call relevance of WSQ to employees, is really about the employees getting trained to WSQ so that they can get good jobs, not just be trained for the sake of training, right? It may be appropriate to tweak the WSQ system at this stage so that it is more targeted at what the market requires, and that individuals who successfully complete the WSQ training can really get a job, right? And the third issue is about the capabilities of WSQ adult educators. We all know that learners today are a lot more educated. They demand top quality education and won't hesitate to switch off or even leave if the trainer fails to engage the learners or simply read off from the slides. It is important that we as AEs seek other ways to enhance our effectiveness and in the process develop our own brand or style to connect with the learners. In line with this, I have come up with 3 smart learning goals for myself for the year 2013. One of them is really to get myself DACE certified, which is already in progress. I hope to successfully complete DACE by the end of 2013. This will be the right step for me to build on my existing knowledge and skill sets, right, to seek upgrading and upskilling, and also in line with my goal to be a DACE facilitator. I will also continue to strengthen my capabilities as an ECTA trainer by continuing to invite and welcome observations by other facilitators to solicit constructive feedback. And I will also seek opportunities to facilitate a wider range of CU modules with increased frequencies. The third smart learning goal for me is really to be involved in an I-team project, right, as a lead or as a contributor, and also to understand on a wider context the strategic goals and priorities of IIL for 2013. On question 3 on how I adopted one reflective practice approach, I have used Brookfield's critical reflection theory as my reflective practice approach, and I'm going to go through them right now. The first one on autobiographies is really an opportunity for me to have an introspective examination of my career and professional development. And for me, my own experience as learner heavily influenced my approach to facilitation. The second perspective is a learner's perspective. That is critical for me because it really gives me valuable feedback on what they like or dislike, enjoy or not enjoy in the learning process. Some may even offer good suggestions on how I can improve in certain areas. On colleagues' experiences, it is great that colleagues are honest in their feedback and give me their views and opinions on how I can improve myself, especially in my blind spots, and guide me in gaining a higher level of awareness of my practices, strengths and weaknesses. And the last piece on a theoretical literature, it's a very good platform which provides a very comprehensive body of knowledge in the field one is interested. Right? As a practitioner, it also helps to validate the course of actions that I undertake in the course of my work. Of late, I've witnessed a lot of people, employees, especially part-time trainers, suffering from burnout due to increasing work demands and reduced engagement. My interest in this area grew, and I've started to read up articles and journals in this area. I've attached a literature listing for those who are interested to read up on this area. And question 4 on how DACE has impacted my core values and professional development as an AE. Out of the 6 core values for adult educators, 2 stood out for me. One of them is really about passion for lifelong training, and the other one is on improvement of professional practice. Now, in terms of passion for lifelong learning, my passion is not just confined to the training industry. I have been fortunate enough to be exposed to other industries with the life science sector, such as pharmaceuticals, clinical research and medical devices over the last decade. I was part of the ISTC committee for pharmaceuticals from 2004 to 2008, and my regional travels allowed me to learn about other people's cultures and their norms. Such exposures really built on my passion for lifelong learning. And I also made some efforts to participate in visits to training centers to learn about their systems. Recently, I attended a tour of the training facility at Sunrise Academy to learn more about their operating model. As a self-learner, I make it a point to read regularly, and the most recent being Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman, Nobel Prize winner in economics in 2002. So hopefully my resume will provide further evidences and illustration of my passion for lifelong learning. The other core value which I embrace is the improvement of professional practice. I commenced DACE in 2002, and the goal is to successfully complete it by 2013. Additionally, I attended every adult learning symposium since it started, the last one being July 2012. On the regional and international landscape, I participated in the Global Learning Summit. I was speaker in the 2008 Summit, the Learning and Development Show Asia, as well as other learning conferences. I also sat in the ITE Trainer interview panel 2012 as interviewer. The AE development chart basically gives a snapshot of the learning that I have attained since taking up DACE. And as is quite obvious from the chart, there is learning for every module that I have taken, right? And 2 really stood out, and they are TNA and ID. Right, these 2 modules stood out for me because being somebody in the private sector, I could appreciate and identify the hard truth of educating bosses and the right way of doing things, right? Versus them doing within the constraints of time and cost.